Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Evans, and in this video I just want to go with you quickly to do how we can do sky replacement in Photoshop. A couple of weeks ago I did a tutorial which I will link somewhere right here that you can take a look at. In that tutorial I had used Luminar as the plugin in Photoshop to kind of do the AI sky replacement in Photoshop. Fast forward to October 2020 and Adobe has just released the 2021 version of Photoshop, and now they have natively included sky replacement sort of AI or automatic means of doing sky replacement. And I think this method works better than the Luminar plugin. So let's take a look quickly and I'll show you guys how we can use this in our day-to-day works if we want to replace the sky. All right, let's jump into Lightroom. We'll take a look at some images and we'll take the image into Photoshop and replace the sky. Let's get started. Okay, so here we are in Lightroom and I have this image selected. I have done a few tweaks here and there to the image. If you want to see the before, this is the before, and this is, with a few of the Lightroom tweaks. I'm going to right click on this and we're just going to go edit in and select Adobe Photoshop 2021. So here we are in Photoshop. The image has been opened, and first off, as usual, I'm going to do a duplicate Command J to create a duplicate layer so we can always go back to our starting point. And if you come down to the edit menu right here, you're going to find this new tool here that says sky replacement. So I'm going to click on sky replacement. You're going to have this dialog box, and here you go. By just clicking that, the first sky piece here has already replaced the sky, and this is a preview. So if we turn it off, before and after, right? And there's a few key options here that we need to take a look at. So right here, the sky, you can also load in your own skies, or you can use any of the presets that come with it. So here is a few presets that Adobe has included. If you look under the blue skies, here is a few options for you that you can choose. You can preview any of these by just clicking on them, and as you can see, it is giving you a preview of what that sky would look like in your image, right? So play around with it. You can also load in your own sky somewhere up here, create a new sky group, and then you can also import your own skies for use. If you go to the sunset ones, you also have here few different ones, and if you haven't noticed yet, you will see that every time I change the sky, the foreground is also getting changed because Photoshop is automatically compensating and color grading the foreground to kind of match the sky that we have just brought in. So this maybe for this tutorial I'm just gonna play around, and I'll just maybe stick with the sky here. I will, between one of these two, I'm going to stick with this one here. So once you've chosen the sky that you like, you can zoom in and take a look, and if you look right here, you can see that it's even kept in the power bars and the power lines and stuff in here, right? It's maxed them out and they're still in there, didn't take care of them, which is pretty good. But let's take a look at some of the adjustments. So the edge shift, if you notice that some of the edges here, if you zoom in and you realize, especially around the building here, you can see that there may be some gaps around there. You can use the edge shifting piece to kind of blend them in properly. All right. So you can see, so I can leave it there, and then here the fade the edges, as you see, it just brings in like kind of faded edges, kind of blending it in properly, right? So play around with the options. Your brightness, you can brighten up the sky or darken up the sky as you want. Color temperature, you can change the color temperature tint, of the sky if you choose to. The scale, you can make the sky bigger, right? Scale it out, scale it down to get the right portion that you need. And assuming that your image the light in your image, the direction of light from your image doesn't match the sky, then you can use the flip button to kind of flip the sky around. But in my instance, I think the original direction works better, so I'll leave that in there. Now, the other thing you can do is to go here into the foreground, and in the foreground mode, you see the light mode is multiply, and you can play around with this if you want to, or you can try the screen, but you can see how it looks like. So I'm going to go back to multiply, and you see how it does. But then what you can see is that the color and the adjustments of the light on the foreground can also be adjusted here, right? So if you want to tweak the foreground more and adjust how the lighting blends in with the foreground, you've got that option right here as well. And as I adjust this color here, you can see how much of the color tones are shifting to kind of blend this whole image together and make it look more realistic, as if you shot it with that same sky. So I'm really liking this new thing here, but that's not the power of this thing. The power of this thing is that after you click OK, Photoshop is now created for you layers right here with all the mask that has been done. So if I go in here and I hold down Shift and click on this mask, you can see that this is the foreground mask. This right here is the sky mask, and you can see it's done a beautiful job for you already. And if you want to go ahead and manually take control of this, you can now come in here on this mask and you can do whatever you want. So if you want to add in some stuff, you can do whatever you want. You can paint in and brush it in however you want and make some fine adjustments, right? Obviously this is not what I want to do. I was just playing and showing you guys how that's done. But now you have full complete control of the entire mask that is Photoshop automatically done for you to select the sky and to select the foreground. So that's the power of this sky replacement tool, and I think it's going to be very useful, especially for people who like to do sky replacements a lot. Personally, I don't do sky replacements a lot, but if you ever need to, now you know that there is an option right within Photoshop where you can do it instead of having to use something like Luminar AI plugin. Okay, let's do a quick example, another quick example. I'm going to go back into Lightroom, and maybe I'm going to pick this image right here. This is okay. The sky is not too bad, but this has trees in here and stuff like that. So I want to take a look and see how we can quickly do this. I just brought this into Lightroom. I haven't made any adjustments yet. If we want to edit, maybe I can just do some quick edits here and there. Bring the exposure down a bit, open up the shadows. Not gonna waste too much time doing this edit, but let's just take this now and open it in Photoshop. So here we had with the image open in Photoshop. As usual, I'm going to do Command J, duplicate that layer. Let's go back to edit. Let's do sky replacement. Right here. Photoshop's going to do its own calculations, and you can see it's loaded in this default sky. Let's see if we flip this, what happens, right? But I'm not really liking it because in this image, this sky doesn't really work well. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go through the skies. Let's see under the spectacular. Let me try this one here, or maybe that one. Right, so I'm going to take this for now, just for this shoot. Let's try to flip it and see what we get. Yep, I like it flipped, so I'll stick to the flipped one. Now, this is where we're going to have to fill in the gaps a little bit more. So I'm going to zoom in. And if you look in the trees, you can see that there is a few gaps in there. They're about So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to use the shift edge to sort of kind of bring it in a lot more, right? And if you go too much too, you're going to see that it's now going into the trees. So I'm going to bring the shift edge up a little bit, just to the point where it fills in the trees line a little bit better. And that's about it for this one. I'm going to take a look, zoom out, and then let's see the foreground. So let's play around with the foreground a little bit, especially the color, and try to see if we can make a little bit of a better blending. Ideally, you should have your image kind of properly raw processed before you bring it into Photoshop, but as you can see, this is with no adjustments in the color, and I brought it all the way up, trying to blend it in a little bit more. And so I can just click on OK, and once more Photoshop creates all the layers for me. And if you come here, you can turn off the sky replacement, bring it back on, and see what we've got. Okay guys, so that's it. Now you have AI powered sky replacement built in right into Photoshop. You do not need Luminar to do AI sky replacements. You can do it right here within Photoshop as part of the Photoshop 2021 update. Stay blessed guys, and keep creating, and I'll see you in the next video.